We're in Chapter 20, Lesson 2B, Renaissance Artists. Who funded the Renaissance artists? The Catholic Church funded works of art to decorate the Vatican. In the videos you saw yesterday, you saw the Vatican Museums and the Sistine Chapel. The Catholic Church was the main contractor of the Renaissance artists. In particular, you saw works from masters of Raphael and Michelangelo. We're going to talk in a future section of how the Catholic Church was able to fund all of these works of art, but we can definitely agree that the works of art were really beautiful. What made medieval art different from Renaissance art? The Renaissance was the rebirth from the Black Death. There were so many emotions of death, and people lost their loved ones and the destruction. It was just such a horrible time to live through that you weren't afraid of showing human emotion. So medieval art was different from Renaissance art because in Renaissance art it showed what people look like and it revealed people's true feelings. We're going to look at this painting right here by Giotto. Wall paintings depicting Francis of Assisi, he would use gestures and facial expressions to show human emotion. This picture right here of Francis of Assisi, you can just see how sad he is. And that's not something you would see, especially with Greek art, where you had to be perfect and you weren't allowed to show emotion. There were new artistic methods during the Renaissance. Renaissance artists used new methods that brought life, color, and action to their work. Perspective is a way of showing people and things as they appear at different distances. Chiaroscuro is a technique used to make their paintings look more realistic. They use lights and shadows. Fresco was fresh, wet plaster with watercolor paint. You saw a lot of frescoes both in the Vatican and in the Sistine Chapel. Raphael was well known for his frescoes. Leonardo da Vinci was born in Florence, and right here is the painting of the Last Supper and the Mona Lisa, two of his most famous paintings. Michelangelo was known as both a painter and a sculptor. This is the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel that you saw yesterday. And the statue of David, which is currently in Florence. The Northern Renaissance. Cultural changes in what is today Belgium, the Netherlands, Luxembourg, and Germany. So that is the area of the Northern Renaissance. Right below France is where Italy is. They wanted more realism in their work. Oil paintings provided rich colors and allowed changes to be made on a painted canvas. Jan van Eyck. The easiest way is a really fancy title. I always refer to this as the married couple. Albrecht Dürer did engravings, wood engravings. Right here, the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. And then England theaters. The Renaissance reached its heights in England under Elizabeth I. The greatest English playwright was William Shakespeare. His plays were histories, comedies, and tragedies. His most famous works were Hamlet, Macbeth, Romeo and Juliet, and Henry V. It's important to know that men played both the men's parts and the women's parts during the Renaissance. Women were not actresses, which is a fun fact. So we are finishing up Chapter 20, Section 2, and I will look forward to moving on to Section 3 next week.